So guys, if you are still watching, you are watching the campus show here with me and Yopon Deji on Yopon Online TV, where we talk to university students, find out what they are doing, something interesting, and for you out there to be inspired. And today we are talking about a topic whereby a lot of people do not go into it, but find it interesting from where they sit. That's student politics and how the youth impact into student politics in nation building. Now I'm here with the Vice President of Accra Technical University, and we are continuing. You can also join us with your thoughts and comments in the comment section below to tell us what you think about student politics. Is there a need for a young person in school to go into politics or go into leadership roles, as our interviewee here said? So join us, we'd love to hear from you. So moving on, we'll be closing very soon. I want to find out from you, who do you look up to? Who do you look up to, and purposely for inspiration?
I look up to Kojo Okonkwo.
Wow, my namesake.
Are you Okonkwo?
Yeah, I'm Okonkwo.
Awesome. So I look up to Okonkwo. I really admire his personality. But I think politics is one rudiment you have to look out for in politics is the personality.
Okay.
So I really admire his personality. And then also I admire him whenever he stands to speak, it will marvel you, right? He's able to convince his audience, he's able to, so he has it.
Wow.
Yeah, he has a leadership skills, and I really admire that.
There is no doubt he's also one person I look up to in the politics fraternity, but I'm not cutting you short or contradicting what I say. But if you are someone who do not necessarily go in for politics, but you are there as a leadership role, why would you look up to someone in politics? Someone who was once a journalist and now in politics. Why do you look up to someone like him?
So even in journalism, I think he was a leader.
Exactly.
The fact that out of about 10 people, he sits down to present, he sits down to speak for people to know what he's talking about. I mean, that's alone makes him a leader. And when you look at him, he has a lot of, leadership roles. Whilst in senior high school, he was a school prefect. Whilst in JHS, he was a dining hall prefect, and all that. So when you look at all this, even before he entered into politics, he was a leader.
He was a leader. So it is not mainly about his politics fraternity or whatever he's doing in politics, but it's about his leadership role and the mindset he works with and how he presents himself.
And how he's positive towards nation building.
Okay, so Mr. Jonas or Mr. Agbo, I want to find out from you, what legacy would you be remembered or would you want to be remembered for in Accra Technical University when you leave office, and why that particular legacy?
Alright, thank you very much. So for the first time in the history of AT, we've never had anything like the More Practice campaign. I would be doing it this semester. So the More Practice campaign it's a campaign that is aimed at educating the students on the need to study and to avoid malpractice.
Okay.
Of which there are
examination malpractice.
Yes, of which there are consequences. So that is number one. Then number two, personally as a vice president, I have been able to advocate for the debate students to partake in the Accra Open Debate Competition. I think that's a plus. I also look forward to taking them to GUDC. That's the Ghana University Debate Competition, where we are going to meet like-minded individuals.
Exactly.
Yes, and people from all walks of life.
Okay. So from where you sit as a vice president, you have done a lot for the school, if I must say.
Yeah, and I wish I could do
more.
Yes, but most of the times you are the vice president, so you have to support your president to achieve his aim. That is basically why I'm here. Okay. So you assist your president.
Okay. Now you mentioning your president, you mentioned the president. How close are you with the president? And then with things that are being done in the school, is it always supposed to, the things that you have done as you mentioned right now, is it the one that maybe did these things, or you brought the idea and you and your team just went ahead to do it, or you worked with him and sat down to be able to achieve these things you have mentioned?
So I am very close to president. Of course I have to be close to president to make this work. I'm very close to president, but I mean, this whole idea of having a More Practice campaign and taking the debaters to Accra Open, I mean, they are my own conceived ideas. I came out with those ideas. I saw the need for students to study, and I saw the need for a reduction in the More Practice rate. That is why I came up with that idea. And for the debates also, I think it was a duty call. It was very urgent. I had to look at it in that angle. to have our people go out there to explore. So, I mean, these are my own ideas.
But there's that you work with him.
Yes, no, if not just working with him, you have to seek for his
permission before you go ahead to do this.
Yeah,
okay.
It has to be in the law.
Okay, Mr. Agbo, my time is fast spent, and I want to find out from what piece of advice do you give to a youth or someone out there watching who is yearning to become a leader by hook or crook, but at this point he's confused what to do?
So I think that first of all, you need to have your own values. You need to have values.
Okay.
And secondly, in fact, you need to look up to God. God is the ultimate. You need to look up to God. Then finally, you need to have the trust, integrity, and all of these things. Yeah. So that is all for now. Yeah, that's all for now. So that is all. I think that's all for now.
Yeah. Okay. So just quickly wrapping up, I want to find out from you your thoughts on student accommodation. Is there a problem? Is there a problem
campus,
about
yeah.
on your campus? Do you have
yeah.
do you have a perennial problem about student accommodation?
Yeah, we do.
We already talk about other universities. There are a lot of accommodation that they are really facing. Is it the same with this institution?
Yeah, we have accommodation problems, challenges. But the SRC has been able to advocate for an outside hostel. The hostel takes about 1,000 students. So whenever the school's hostel is full, then we issue a communique to the students. And then we take those who are interested in going there, then we take it there.
You take it.
Yeah. So we've been able to advocate for outside hostel.
Last question, then we continue with another segment. I want to find out from you your take on the UTAG strike, just very quick, because lecturers, teachers have been going on strike from time to time, and it's really affecting not only our younger students in GHS and SS, but even us here in the university. It's affecting us. From where you sit as a vice president of the SRC, what is your take on UTAG going for strike or going on strike? If you can just let me know in a very few seconds, I'll be very grateful.
I just want to use this medium to I mean, the government has to intervene. These are people who have devoted themselves to serve the nation, and they need to be treated well. So they have to be given good service.
So you are not really against them, that what they are doing?
They have to. The government needs to sit down and have a more structured negotiation with them. Yeah, and the government has to meet their needs.
Okay.
Not entirely, but halfway through the line.
Okay.
And so they have to. It's a call for the government to come in and help them. So I think the government should come in and help them to mitigate these problems.
Okay. So guys, you are still watching the campus show here with me and Yopondinchi, and we are on a segment called Laugh Your Ribs Out. This is the time we have with our interviewee where we find out how smart they are and ask them some few questions. Ask them certain questions. So we want to ask our interviewee just 3 questions if he will be able to answer, which I know he would. So Mr. Agbo, the first question is, I have no feet, no hands, no wings, but I climb the sky. Who am I? I have no feet, no hands, no wings, but I climb the sky. Who am I? No idea. No idea. So it's smoke. It's smoke. Smoke. So moving on, the second question. I'm tall when I'm young, and I'm short when I'm old. So when he or she is young, he is very tall. But when he's old, he becomes short. Who am I, or what is that?
A broom.
No, a broom. Okay, it might be, but the answer I'm having here is a candle. It's a candle. And then the last question is, if there is a plane crash between passengers from Ghana and Nigeria, where would the survivors be buried? If there is a plane crash and the passengers on board are Ghanaians and Nigerians, where would the survivors be buried?
In the cemetery.
In the cemetery. Don't be buried because there's no survivors. Survivors are people, they survive. So dead people are people that are supposed to be buried. But all the same, Charlie, he did well. Very grateful. So, guys, this is where time will allow us to end or bring this show to a close. But before we end, I want our interviewee to talk to his people out there, the good people of Accra Technical University. If there is anything you want to tell them or any advice you want to give to the general youth in this country. So you have just 5 seconds to go with it.
Right,
is there any advice you want to give to your people?
I would want you to uphold to the value of integrity. Integrity is very, very important. I also want you to uphold high to the value of respect and humility. It would take you far. Then also, you are not supposed to take away the God factor. It is God that maketh man. So therefore, I encourage everybody watching this to, if you are a Muslim, be serious with Allah. If you are a Christian, be serious with God. I think that is all.
That's all. Wow. Mr. Jonas Agbo, Mr. Vice President for the SLC at Accra Technical University, we want to really appreciate and thank you so much for coming on the campus show to talk to us and then give us the nuggets of wisdom you have. So as you have watched it here, my name is Andy Opondenchi, the host for the campus show, and you have watched some nuggets from here based on student politics and how the youth contribute to politics in nation building. If you have anything, I believe you learned a lot. Is there something you think should have been said on this show? Drop your comments or your answer in the comment section below. We want to hear from you. Your answers are always welcome. If you like and enjoy this video, give it a huge thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Click on press on the notification button to be notified anytime we post a life-changing video. And a big thanks go to my technical and my media team led by Elom GH for leading us to be able to have a wonderful show. Thank you so much. We'll see you in the next show.